Okay. So I once again welcome all the devotees for Prabhupada's Lilamrta reading. So today we are going to start our session with paragraphs starting with As June Came in Vrindavan. So this is chapter 52 and the title of the chapter is I Have Done My Part, and this is volume 6. So now we are going to start our session with As June Came in Vrindavan, the weather remained very hot. So Mataji, I would like to start our session with invocational prayers, and I request any of the Matajis, please go ahead with the invocational prayers, then we can start our session.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I go?
Please Mataji, please.
Okay. Om Ajnanatimirāñjasya Jnānāñjalaṣalakaya Cheskuram Nitannena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam tam sajivam sadvaitam savadutam parijana saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna pada sahagana lalita Shri Vishaka Vitancha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishware Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, Mataji, can I go reading also, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, and thank you so much for your sweet prayers, Mataji. Please start, Mataji.
Okay. As June came in Vrindavan, the weather remained very hot. The sky, which had been a clear blue, turned hazy as the first moisture arrived. Between noon and 4 p.m., the ground was too hot for bare feet, and the residents of Vrindavan would stay home, confining most of their activities to either the morning or the late afternoon and evening. Even eating was excluded from the midi, since the heat killed the appetite. The Yamuna was shallow and hot, giving little relief. The cows were gushed of lack of grass and feed, and occasionally hot, searing wind raised dust cloud, flies and mosquitoes died in the air. One of the few pleasant features of summer was fragrance of bell flower that climbed along the wall around Prabhupada's garden. Somehow, retrieving the dry heat. In the first day of June, Srila Prabhupada experienced some hope of recovery. He asked to resume this morning ride, and when being brought down to the car, he said, "Soon I will get down and walk myself." His old friend from Allahabad, Mr. Ghosh, came and diagnosed his disease and as anxiety for the devotees and the Krishna conscious movement. Srila Prabhupada agreed, but he did not follow the doctor's order, since they included having his blood pressure checked regularly and taking various medicines and special treatment. But by receiving message from his servants, he felt he was improving at this rate. He said he would be all right after a month and a half, but he stressed, "I am not leaving Vrindavan until I am well." One morning, Srila Prabhupada asked to go and see the deities, and his men promptly moved him in his rocking chair before Krishna Balaram, sitting in his chair beneath the Tamal tree. Prabhupada looked up at the transcendental brothers while many tears glided down his cheeks. They are dressed very nicely, he said, while he basked in the presence of Krishna and Balaram. He enjoyed the smoothing shade of the Tamal tree. The contractor wanted this tree cut down. He said, but I would not allow. There are not many Tamal trees left. These worldly men do not know. Srila Prabhupada started coming down regularly each morning to see deities, and even that gradually grew to become a daily temple function involving ISKCON devotees and guests alike. Prabhupada would sit in his rocking chair under the Tamal tree, and a devotee would lead kirtan while Prabhupada and all the other devotees chanted responsively for Prabhupada's disciples, chanting with him in the courtyard of his temple in Ramani Vrindavan was the essence of the spiritual world. Thank you, Mataji. I would like to stop here, and please forgive me for the mistakes that I have read. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Vinya Machari. Thank you so much, and don't feel that it was kind of mistakes. Please don't feel that, and thanks for giving this opportunity, Mataji, and reading with us, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Mataji, would anybody like to go next?
I can read. Thank you, Vinaya Mataji. It was very, very nice and very sweet reading. Thank you. Thank you. Continue. Sometimes he would go sit in the private garden adjacent to his main room.
Mataji, it's good to disturb you. The paragraph starts with Prabhupada's body was...
Although Prabhupada's body was apparently sick, he was still as alert as ever. And every morning he would notice who was there and who was not. The devotees grew to love this special opportunity to associate with Prabhupada as he sat in his rocking chair gazing at Krishna and Balaram. Vrindavan residents and pilgrims would also gather around Prabhupada, often offering money, which they would place at Prabhupada's feet. While the energetic young Gurukul boys danced before Prabhupada and the pilgrims continuously flowed in and out, offering obeisances and rupees at his feet, and while one of his associates fanned him with a large chamara whisk, Srila Prabhupada sat gravely yet simply with his attention fixed on Krishna and Balaram. Sometimes he would go sit in the private garden adjacent to his main room. A devotee had built a plaster fountain there in the shape of a large pink lotus, and while Prabhupada sat in the little alcove surrounded by flowering vines, the splashing of the fountain pleased and soothed. An occasional monkey would come over the wall into the garden looking for something to steal, and Prabhupada would have it chased away. Otherwise, he sat silently, conversing only occasionally with one or two disciples. One day in the garden, Srila Prabhupada was recalling the simple but civilized life that he had known as a child. He mentioned the various ceremonies his mother had observed during pregnancy to allay the dangers connected with childbirth. Though his voice was soft and weak, he was still inclined to speak. So much care was taken for the children, he said. Now these rascals are killing children. Most uncivilized life. Two-legged animals. Even in these days, in India, in the interior villages, their life can be peaceful. They have enough grains, enough milk to live peacefully and chant Hare Krishna. And they are going there to give this sterilization. Srila Prabhupada was referring to Indira Gandhi's policy of compulsory sterilization. One of the devotees present had just come from West Bengal, and he had been traveling on a boat down the Ganges preaching and distributing the prasadam in the villages. Srila Prabhupada began describing to him how in the villages they make a simple bread ball from atta, whole wheat flour, and bake it beside an open fire. The same fire, it's called as khandi fire, using cow dung chips. Srila Prabhupada said they put one pot on top of the other in the fire and use it for dal. Then after some time you see if it is boiled very nice. Then this ball should be cooked in ghee. It would be first class. While the fountain splashed gently and the pigeons and green parrots fluttered and chattered, Prabhupada continued to walk freely. He called in his horoscope at birth. After 70 years, this man will go outside India and establish so many temples. He said he hadn't understood at first that he would actually have to go. But when he had finally gone to the US, he had no intention of ever returning. Except for the stroke he suffered in the United States in 1967, he said he would not have come back. That means Krishna desired, he said. Otherwise, I had no plan to come back. Therefore, I took this permanent residency. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Anjana Gopika Mataji, for guiding me by clicking all the links so nicely. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Preeti Mataji. Thank you so much for reading. Hare Krishna. Would anybody like to go next?
I can go, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Praneshwari Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for joining and giving your beautiful association, Mataji.
Thank you, Supriya Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. I missed you guys too. Do you regret having come back to India? Asked Tamal Krishna Goswami. No, said Prabhupada. My plan was like that, to stay. But Krishna's plan was different. When I was coming back in 1970, I was speaking to... Oh man, my eyes are bad. Mataji, you know what? Somebody else is going to have to read because I can't read it. It's too small.
Can I read, Mataji?
Go ahead, Lalitangi, please go ahead. You read.
Thank you, Mataji. So, no, said Prabhupada, my plan was like that, to stay. But Krishna's plan was different. When I was coming back in 1970, I was speaking to Dwarkadisha, the Krishna deity in ISKCON's Los Angeles temple. I came here to preach. I don't know why you are dragging me back. That was when I was leaving Los Angeles. I was not happy. But he had his plan. Pretty nice plan, commented Tamal Krishna. Srila Prabhupada continued. Krishna said, come, I'll give you a better place in Vrindavan. You were retired in Vrindavan and I asked you to leave. Now you have come back, but I will give you a better place. So he has given me a temple 100 times better than any other place. Is it not so? An article entitled Srila Prabhupada Seriously Ill appeared on the front page of the Times of India. On hearing the article, Srila Prabhupada commented, unless they think Bhaktivedanta Swami is important, they wouldn't print this. Giriraj wrote to Srila Prabhupada that many sympathizers had phoned the Bombay temple asking for more information. One of the devotees had issued a statement which the Times of India carried a few days later on page 3 under the heading, Srila Prabhupada now better. So was Srila Prabhupada seriously ill or better? I may live or die, he said. In either case, I am with Krishna. But he confided, I asked Krishna to give me enthusiasm to continue up to death. A soldier should die fighting on the battlefield. At Srila Prabhupada's request, Tamal Krishna was replying to all correspondence and signing his own name as secretary. As he wrote in one letter, under the circumstances, it is not possible for me to read letters to Srila Prabhupada. I simply inform him of any good news which comes, and so I have told him of your successful town hall meeting as well as your other preaching activities. These letters were almost as valuable as Srila Prabhupada's, since they were often filled with direct quotes from Srila Prabhupada. One evening, Srila Prabhupada called for all the available sannyasis. He said he was feeling tired, but like a father happy to have his children with him, he said, "You should all come to be with me like this, and I feel better." One day, while sitting with Srila Prabhupada, Tamal Krishna began to describe the pastimes of Krishna as depicted in the painting hanging to the right of Srila Prabhupada's prasadam table. The painting showed Krishna and his cowherd friends eating lunch. Srila Prabhupada looked at the painting and then, closing his eyes, thinking of the Leela, said, "This is the highest perfection of life. I have concluded that whatever is done without Krishna is simply a waste of time. What will they think of this?" Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. I'll stop here. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Lalitangi Mataji. Thank you for joining and reading and giving your association, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Matajis, would anybody like to go next?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sorry, I am on mute. Please go ahead, Mataji. Shamagori Mataji.
Okay. Prabhupada's mood and varied within the realm of transcendental. I don't know why I cannot say. I think this is too small.
Mataji, the word is too small.
Yeah. Okay. Transcendental emotions and attitudes to say. To some attending him, he said, "I am." Yeah, this is better, Mataji. Yeah, this is better. He said, "I am thinking I am a worthless person taking so much service. There is no way I can repay you. I am poor in every respect, financially and spiritually." Srila Prabhupada, Tamal Krishna protested, "Our only desire is to serve you." "I know," Prabhupada replied, "and it is the only reason I am living. All over the world, things are going on by your sincere service." But occasionally, Prabhupada would still reprimand an errant disciple. When in dressing Prabhupada, Upendra gave him a lungi that was too small. Prabhupada called him a fool and a rascal. And when Tamal Krishna did not attend Prabhupada one morning due to having a cold, Prabhupada was critical. "I was never neglectful about my duty in any field of."
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, Shamagori Mataji. Okay, Mataji, I believe Mataji got maybe disconnected.
What's it?
Okay, Mataji. Would anybody like to continue reading, Mataji?
Mataji, shall I read?
Please, Mataji.
But occasionally, Prabhupada would still reprimand an errant disciple. When in addressing Prabhupada, Upendra gave him a lungi that was too small. Prabhupada called him a fool and a rascal. And when Tamal Krishna did not attend Prabhupada one morning due to having a cold, Prabhupada was critical. I was never neglectful about my duty in any field of activities, he said. Even business. Dr. Bose loved me very much. He was giving me checks to sign for 50,000 rupees. I was never lazy or neglectful in duty. I would do it honestly and try to make it perfect. Only I was neglectful when I was involved with my young wife. When I was neglected my studies, that was due to circumstances, and then later I neglected my wife. My father said I was fortunate not to like my family. Krishna saved me through so many circumstances. This material life is checked. One second. Early one morning, Srila Prabhupada awoke suddenly. I had a dream. Mataji is making noise. Can somebody read?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Would anybody like to continue, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji. I would like to read for 5 minutes at least.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sita Priti Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining this session and giving your wonderful association, Mataji. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Early one morning, Srila Prabhupada awoke suddenly. I had a dream, he said, to the devotees attending him. There was a big assembly of drunkards and chanters. The drunkards were madmen. Some of the drunkards were becoming chanters. They cannot stop fighting. The drunkards were so crazy. Were you there also? Asked Tamal Krishna. Yes, I was standing there also. Were some of the chanters becoming drunkards? Chanters cannot fall down, said Srila Prabhupada. Their names are listed back to home, back to Godhead. They are in Krishna's family. Mataji, can you please scroll up? After the GBC assembly in Vrindavan, Swarup Damodar had travelled to Manipur and Calcutta and was now returning to Vrindavan to see Srila Prabhupada. As soon as Prabhupada heard Swarup Damodar had arrived, he asked to see him. As usual, Srila Prabhupada treated him very specially and gave him much time and attention. From Prabhupada's first meeting with Swarup Damodar, when Swarup Damodar had been Thaudan Singh, a PhD candidate in organic chemistry at UCLA, Prabhupada had taken great care to cultivate their relationship. Thaudan had grown in Manipur, but after graduating from high school, had come to America to continue his education at the University of California. He had been attracted by the devotees chanting Hare Krishna on the streets of Los Angeles and had visited the temple. When he met Srila Prabhupada, he became convinced that he had met a genuine spiritual leader. At first, Thaudan had maintained his stance as a representative of the world of empirical scientific knowledge, and Srila Prabhupada had invited him for morning walks on Venice Beach. Hare Krishna. Somebody else wants to read, Mataji?
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Mataji, would anybody like to go next and continue reading? Okay, Mataji, then I would like to go. Hare Krishna. Day after day, Srila Prabhupada would draw Thaudan into arguments about the origin of life. When Srila Prabhupada was ready to argue, he would glance around and ask, where is the scientist? And on catching sight of the Thaudan, he would ask, so what do they say? Taudam would then argue that life had arisen by chance through chemical evolution, and Srila Prabhupada would smash the argument with a stunning display of logic and common sense. Taudam, by regularly associating with Srila Prabhupada and by reading Bhagavad Gita as it is, had become more inclined to Krishna consciousness than to material sense, and eventually he had become Prabhupada's initiated disciple, Swarup Damodar Das. With Srila Prabhupada's encouragement, Swarup Damodar Das had soon received his PhD and pledged to serve Srila Prabhupada through scientific lectures and writing against the theories of modern atheist science. Srila Prabhupada was well aware of powerful sway science held over people everywhere, and he was out to combat their godless propaganda. He knew that Bhagavad Gita was the highest science, and he saw how outrageously prejudiced many modern scientific assumptions were. For all their high technical jargon and faith in the scientific method, the scientists were actually ignorant of the origin and purpose of life. Swarup Damodar and a few other devotees holding graduate degrees had formed the Bhaktivedanta Institute and were working within academic circles to establish the scientific basis of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada had been especially pleased when at a large meeting of scientists, Swarup Damodar had challenged a Nobel Prize winning scientist who held that life was a phenomenon that occurred at a certain level of chemical complexity. If I give you the required chemicals, Swarup Damodar had asked him, will you be able to produce life? And the embarrassed scientist had replied, I don't know, repeatedly. Srila Prabhupada had referred to that incident in his conversations and lectures. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Thank you for this opportunity. So, would anybody like to continue reading from the next paragraph? Hare Krishna. Would anybody like to read from the next paragraph who did not get a chance to read? Okay, Mataji. Then for today, I would like to stop our reading up to these conversations and lectures. And now again our interesting part has come up of sharing our realizations. So I would like to request all the Matajis, starting from Preeti Mataji, Shamagori Mataji, Vinaya Mataji, Anjana Gopika Mataji, Sita Preeti Mataji, can you please share your realizations?
Hare Krishna, Anjana Gopika Mataji. Sorry, Hare Krishna, Supriya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisance. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please, Mataji.
Yeah. Right from the beginning of the reading, with the explanation of the beauty of Vrindavan, how nice it was when Prabhupada was there, and then how they didn't want the tamal tree to be uprooted, and Prabhupada wanted to preserve the tamal tree. That's like a kalpavriksha, because every tree is a kalpavriksha in Vrindavan. So they didn't want to remove that tree. How Prabhupada was very particular about that, and how he was thinking that he was told in his early days that he would go to the west and he would establish temples after he's 70 years old. First he didn't believe that, and then he came to the US and he didn't think that he would return back to India also. But then it took Rukmini Dwarkadi's arrangement that he had to go back, and then the very nice facility or the very beautiful temple constructed in India was actually the best thing that happened after he returned back to India and he had the opportunity to build that temple. He was feeling very grateful as he was expressing his feelings to Rukmini Dwarkadish. And it was very nice, Mataji, that part which was read, very beautiful section. And also about the newspaper, Indian Express, how they had this article on Srila Prabhupada. It was also very nice because Prabhupada said that means we are at least noting that this Bhaktivedanta Swami is an important person. He's doing some work, so they are noticing, people are noticing. So Prabhupada was very happy. And then about the article that came up again, right? So it's very, very nice, Mataji. The entire reading was very beautiful. Prabhupada's mood was very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. Thanks for the very nice session. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Priti Mataji. Yes, Mataji. I too like the starting of the paragraph explaining how Vrindavan is, how it is a scorching sun and everything, and the importance of a tamal tree, and how Srila Prabhupada is more attached to the tree. Yes, Mataji. I too like this introductory paragraph, Mataji. Yeah, and so much for joining and every time sharing your realizations, Mataji, so beautifully. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Matajis, would anybody like to go next and share your nectar of realizations with me? Shamagauri Mataji, Anjana Gopika Mataji, Vinaya Mataji, Sita Priti Mataji. Can you please share, Mataji, share your nectarian realizations with all of us? And I see Vrinda Gopika Mataji too.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji. Please, Mataji.
Yeah, Priti Vilasini Mataji really summarized everything. The reading is really very nice, Mataji. Unfortunately, I'm so unfortunate that something or the other comes up and I am not able to join regularly on Fridays. But it's really nice to read. Like, when you're reading that, like, the main thing it feels is like Srila Prabhupada talking. When Srila Prabhupada said, when we say that, it feels so lively. And I really wish, please pray, Mataji, that I can join every time. And the best part today, like, no, everything is best, of course. But today, when, like, as Mataji said, that when the newspapers, they recognized, that was like, so, like, Srila Prabhupada found happiness in so many small things also. And that was also so important for the movement. And sometimes I think we forget when we are looking for big things, we forget these little things which really matter so much. I think there is so much apart from like just looking at the Lilamrta, Srila Prabhupada's life history. There are so many lessons there are in this readings that we can really implement into our daily life. So thank you, Mataji, for giving an opportunity to read and hear from you all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Sita Priti Mataji. Yes, Mataji, definitely. Starting, you told it is like talking with Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Mataji, it is definitely we are having a conversation with Prabhupada. That is true, and I will definitely pray and I will make sure that you will give us your association regularly, Mataji. I think we are ending of the Lilamrta, Mataji, and I strongly pray that you should every Friday give your association with us, Mataji, and we will be more happy to get your association, Mataji. And whatever you told is very true, Mataji, and the summarization of what Priti Mataji is told also very nice, and whatever you told is also very beautiful, Mataji. And please come on every Fridays, Mataji, and give your association. We will be all purified and benefited with your association, Mataji. Thank you so much, Priti Mataji. Hare
Sure,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna. Sure. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Would anybody like to?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Mataji, I just want to share a few points. Very nice realizations from Priti Mataji and Sitapriti Mataji also. So what I read that was very beautiful about the Prabhupada's garden and about how Prabhupada used to sit under the Tamil tree and enjoy the darshan of the Krishna and Balram. How when he was taking darshan of Krishna and Balram, how the water came from his eyes and he was so observed and he was so happy and peace and very pleasant thing was there in Prabhupada. And also he was telling about the special garden of Prabhupada, that how he used to have, and then he also there was a monkeys coming in, and that part was also very nice, and Prabhupada used to make it go away and then chased away that monkey, and then again Prabhupada was telling about how this childbirth, nowadays the childbirths are like before it was so nice how much mothers used to take care of their pregnancy and everything, but now these humans are becoming like two-legged animals, and then they are wanted to just kill the babies. So he was talking about that too, and then Mataji, these are some of the points that I could recollect. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and please forgive me if I say something wrong out of my poor fund of knowledge. Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vilya Mataji. Yes, Mataji, whatever your realizations are very, very so nice, Mataji, and especially when you are reading this paragraph, and Prabhupada is telling how to raise children and how to be very conscious when we are in pregnancy too, and how to raise child after delivery also. I was just exactly thinking about you only, Mataji, how you are upbringing Brinda, how every day, every minute you are making her in Krishna consciousness. Truly you are following Prabhupada, Mataji. And really I got Vrinda only in my mind when he is telling all these things. Yeah, and whatever you told about realizations of monkeys and everything, it was nice, Mataji. Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji, and it was, everything is nice, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for encouraging me to join. From the day you told, I've been joining every time. I'm not missing to remove the word that I given you.
Thank you. Because of you told me to join, I'm enjoying the Lilamrta. Thank you so much, Mataji, for giving me the opportunity.
We are also enjoying your association, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anjana Gopika Mataji, would you like to share your realizations, Mataji? Okay, Mataji. Then I would like to share my realizations for this day's reading, Mataji. And today, as we all seen, that opening paragraph is with how the weather is in month of June in Vrindavan. So they are clearly explaining how it will be in the June in summer in India, how the heat is scorching, how the weather will be there, how the people are going to be in the summer season, how they do their daily duties, usually everything in the early morning or in the late evening, and how the river Yamuna is very shallow and very low of heat, and how the cows are feeding the grass, how they are eating, how the birds and how the whole environment is explaining. And I got very much immersed in this. I went back to my childhood days in the summer season, how we used to feel and how we used to be in the summer season, and it was beautifully explained. And again, coming to our next thing, then because of these weather conditions, how Srila Prabhupada is becoming weak, and one of his old friend, Mr. Ghosh, who had come from Calcutta, so he is kind of doctor at Allahabad. So he came from Allahabad, Mr. Ghosh, and he diagnosed that Srila Prabhupada is very much in anxiety for the devotees and Krishna conscious movement. So how he is very much involved in day-to-day things about because he is in the very weak condition, and how Srila Prabhupada is very much feeling the anxiety every day about how to move forward the Krishna conscious movement and how to protect devotees. So he is very much concerned about this, and how Mr. Ghosh identified or diagnosed his disease. It was seen that. And again, how Srila Prabhupada was moving to Krishna Balram temple in a rocking chair, and we have seen the tamal tree. So one of the contractor want to cut down the tamal tree, but Srila Prabhupada is not at all willing to cut down the tamal tree. So we have seen that also. Priti Mataji has told us beautifully. She explained things. And from there we can see how Srila Prabhupada is little bit sick, but even though he was sitting there and chanting there in Krishna Balram temple, and how the pilgrims are coming and offering some flowers, some money or Lakshmi, and paying their obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. And from there also we can see there is a kind of what we can see, he is telling how Srila Prabhupada was recalling how the people are like civilized people are raising their child, not in a Krishna conscious movement. And again he pointed out this kind of sterilization is more encouraged by Mrs. Indira Gandhi. So he is again point out to political parties and how the political leaders are in what mood. Every time Srila Prabhupada is stressing on political parties and political leaders to be in Krishna consciousness movement and lead the government on the principles of Bhagavad Gita, then how whole society will be Krishnaized. Again, in this point also he is again stressing how the people or how the children should be raised in each and every moment in Krishna conscious movement only. And from there, one of the devotee who has come from West Bengal, so he is Prabhupada is having a nice conversation with the devotee. So he is telling in villages how the food is cooked. The food is like chapati, how they make the chapati, dal, and how it was cooked on cow dung fire, and how it was cooked with ghee. So Srila Prabhupada always tells ghee inside and like mustard oil or till oil to outside body. He recommends these two kinds of oils, ghee inside and outside, till oil or mustard oil. So here also he is telling how the food should be cooked in a simple and delicious and proteinous way. So he is telling that it should be cooked with ghee on cow dung fire, then how simple and how protein and how the delicious would be the prasadam, and we can offer it to God. From there we can see like there is a conversation between not a conversation, how he is chastising, there is a conversation between Tamal Krishna Goswami and Srila Prabhupada. When he was seeing a picture or painting of cowherd boys eating lunch, then seeing that Srila Prabhupada is telling that is the highest perfection of life. Whatever done without Krishna consciousness is simply waste. So this line is very much important for me, I think so. So he is again stressing we should do or we should live in every moment in Krishna consciousness only. So whatever things or whatever moments we spend without Krishna conscious moment, it is totally waste. And I'm sorry I skipped one point. Seeing the illness of Srila Prabhupada in Times of India newspaper, it was in the front page that Srila Prabhupada is seriously ill. Seeing that heading, Srila Prabhupada told, so if Bhakti Vedanta is not important, they would not have printed this on the paper. He told this to Giriraj. And from there we can see the conversation between Srila Prabhupada and Tamal Krishna Goswami. And from there, moving down, Srila Prabhupada is again instructing the devotees, Upendra and Tamal Krishna Goswami. He is kind of chastising them. So once Srila Prabhupada asked Upendra to give a lungi, but Upendra gave him a small lungi, and he told that he called him Upendra a fool and a rascal. And once Tamal Krishna did not attend Prabhupada one morning because due to his cold, and Prabhupada was very in critical condition, and he told that I was never neglect about my duties in any field of activity. And he said I was not even neglect in my studies too. Only when I am in some kinds things I used to be in a negligible mood to my young wife, and because of this he gradually disliked the family, and he was very fortunate not to be attached to the family. And he told that my father also liked because I am not too attached to my beautiful wife and my children. And he's telling these kind of circumstances made him more into Krishna conscious only. So he's telling this is the material life is checkered. And we can see again one of the beautiful conversations about drunkards and chanters. So it was a conversation between Tamal Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. So he's telling drunkards were mad people, but some drunkards who became chanters, they will be in the list of Krishnas who will go back to Godhead. That is very beautiful. We can see a beautiful conversations. So chanters cannot fall down, Srila Prabhupada is saying, and their names are listed back to home, back to Godhead. They are in Krishna's family. That is very beautiful. And coming from down, we can see how Taudam. So after initiation, his name became Swarup Damodar Das, but before that he was Taudam, and how he had met Srila Prabhupada and how he was inspired. He was a scientist basically professionally, and how he was inspired with Srila Prabhupada's lectures and teachings, and after that how he gradually had a good association with Srila Prabhupada, and continuously by reading Bhagavad Gita as it is, and from there he was more inclined to Krishna consciousness movement, and eventually he became Prabhupada's initiated disciple and became Swarup Damodar Das. So with Prabhupada's encouragement, Swarup Damodar has taken his PhD, and he had pledged before Prabhupada that he will use his scientific lectures and writings against the theories of modern atheist science. And from that we can see how Swarup Damodar has challenged a Nobel Prize winner on a phenomena of certain levels of chemical complexity will create the life. In front of everybody, how Swarup Damodar has challenged him that if he provides whatever chemicals he is telling, that it is just a what we can say chemicals of a combination or mixing of chemicals, a life can be formed. Then he is telling that if I provide each and every chemical, whatever you are talking, will you be able to give life to that, or will you be able to produce life? Then how that we can see how the scientist is in a fixed condition, he cannot reply properly. So he is again with his scientific knowledge, with his, and again combining his scientific knowledge with Krishna consciousness movement, we can see how he is beating, or with his good explanation, how he is challenging the modern scientist. We can see. From this I got to remember previously, I believe like 2 years back or 1 year back, one of the Nobel scientists from Nobel Prize winner, a scientist from Japan, had won a Nobel Prize for doing research that fasting intermittently or fasting like 15 days or 11 days in 11 days in 1 month in 11 days or twice or a month, so we will get the cure of our cancer, because fasting will kill the unnecessary bad cells in our body. So for this he had got the Nobel Prize. From this also I got to again connected that we usually do Ekadashis like twice in a month. So it is already given in our scriptures. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, we have to fast. So again the scientists are spending their whole life doing again research, and again they are telling the same thing, whatever they are in scriptures. Means they are wasting their whole life here. So again from this conversation of Swarup Damodar and this Nobel Prize winner, I again got connected to that Nobel Prize winner's topic. So again he is telling the same thing. I can create something, but it is not possible. So from this we can see how Krishna consciousness or how Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam has everything from a scratch to our life, leading how to lead our life. From this also we can identify. And how we can see with Swarup Damodar, how he built the Bhakti Vedanta Institute, like raising funds, printing, searching and building projects. So he is doing Swarup Damodar using his knowledge, scientific knowledge, combining with the Krishna conscious movement, and he is giving good explanations to the society. So this is a very beautiful class, Matajis. I am very much inspired with 2 points especially. We should do, or we should spend every moment, everything in Krishna consciousness only. And this last paragraph of Swarup Damodar, how he is using his scientific knowledge, is very beautiful. So I would like to stop my realizations, Matajis. And anybody would like to share more, Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji. And thank you so much, Mataji, for this opportunity to again read this Lilamrta on this Friday. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Supriya Mataji. It was so nice. Your realization, your summary was so beautiful. I was thinking you explained very beautifully. I also recollected the points, all of it. And I really like the point that where, that one of the servants came and gave the wrong size of lungi, and then he was like telling him, and then he went through like how he was not attached to his wife. So many lectures Prabhupada tells in so many purpose. If you see purpose or any other lectures that in Srila Prabhupada Vani, when we read that lectures, there so many times he says that that is really which is like good for him, and he went to the spiritual life, and also whatever is happening in our life, we have to take in advantage and then convert that. We may think that is disadvantage. Oh, this is not there, but that convert that disadvantage into advantage when you go into Krishna consciousness. There is no other option that that problem will solve for us. If you are thinking there is a problem, when that problem converted to Krishna consciousness, you'll be living peacefully. That's what I felt, and even Prabhupada so many times he said about that, right? Even though he was having issues with the wife and everything, and then, but still, his father told him, this is all you have to. Your chakra also says that you will be in Krishna consciousness, and then you need to worry. You have to concentrate on devotional life. That part I really, really liked. And the one that thing you told is like about the research of that Nobel Prize scientist. He have wasted his whole life. Very nice present example, Mataji. So lively example you given to the Prabhupada discussion. Very beautiful, Mataji. So beautiful, nicely summarized everything. Hari Bol, Mataji. Mataji, one thing, Mr. Ghoshi, that thing, did you told about it, Mataji? What was it? He was telling he had high blood pressure and Prabhupada had high blood pressure. He came to check, right, Mr. Ghoshi, that point?
Yes, Mataji. Mr. Ghosh, he's from Allahabad. He's a doctor, and he came to check because of his illness, and he just diagnosed he was more anxiety because of how he want to lead his Krishna conscious movement, and he was much worried about the devotees. he diagnosed Prabhupada's disease. He was more concerned about the devotees and how to make forward, how to lead the Krishna consciousness movement.
Okay, thank you so much, Mataji, because when I read of somebody that I did not get understand properly that one. So that is why I was asking. Thank you, Mataji. It was so beautiful summarizing. Very nice, very good.
Thank you, Vinaya Mataji. Adding some more points and making it more nectarian, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, both of you. It was very, very nice. Supriya Mataji, your realization about the scientists and how he actually simply wasted his life. That is very, very nice. And also Vinaya Mataji's point about how everything is ultimately for our good and it is geared towards our spiritual well-being. Both realizations were beautiful. Very, very nice. Thank you, Matajis. And also thank you, Supriya Mataji, for the, as usual, fantastic summary. Excellent. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Priti Mataji. Thank you so much. Always encouraging us, Mataji. And yes, Mataji, as you told, I was just connected to scientist Mataji. Yeah. Thank you, Priti Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Shukriya Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guruji, Dandavad Pranam to all Vaishnava. As usual, such a nice narrating, Srila Prabhupada, Lilamrta. Mataji, you teach me how to enter in Srila Prabhupada Lilamrta, but I forgot after complete class or maybe Monday. Can you please teach us again? And yesterday, Priti Vilasini Gopi, Dandavad Pranam to you also. How nicely you will take you. Down. Mataji, somebody will mute yesterday, means not able to. Thanks to your seva.
Oh,
thanks
oh dear.
Sure, Mataji. I will teach you on Monday, definitely. Please let me know which is the best time. I will definitely show how to do this, Mataji. It's simple, Mataji.
I tried today, but somehow I am not able to.
Oh, no, Mataji. It's not a problem. I will show definitely, Mataji. Yeah.
Pranam, Supriya Mataji. How sincerely you dedicate Srila Prabhupada, how the devoted student of Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada that never know how to read Srila Prabhupada Amrita. By your association, sincerely read Srila Prabhupada Amrita and also participate in Srila Prabhupada Amrita class.
Definitely, Mataji. No worries. I will show you and you will definitely do very good reading, Mataji, than us, because you have more deep realizations, Mataji. No worries.
Thank you, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, for your kind words. Sorry. And, Supriya Mataji, you're going to teach her to be on the app. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Mataji, and I just want to teach her on the app, FCC app.
Yeah. So, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, in the future, next time, if at all, by any chance you are muted and and anyone forgets to unmute you, including myself, any of the hosts forgets to unmute you, on the FCC app, you can unmute yourself also. There's an option like that. So, you'll be very happy to use the app and Supriya Mataji will help you. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Mataji, I don't know how to use that app. I will learn from Supriya Mataji.
Sure, Mataji. Sure. Okay, Mataji. If realizations, we are done with your realizations. So I would like to offer my obeisances to all the Vaishnavis who joined this session, and I would request all the Matajis, please join next Friday also. It is becoming more nectarian, Matajis. I would like to request all the Matajis. And I'm thankful to each and every Mataji, Anjana Gopika Mataji, Priti Mataji, Vinaya Mataji, Sita Priti Mataji, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Shama Gauri Mataji, Praneshwari Mataji, Laltangi Mataji for joining this session and again giving once again their beautiful association. By this I would like to offer my obeisances. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindho vyayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lilamrta ki jai. Assembled devotees ki jai. Hari Hari. Hare Krishna.
Supriya ki jai.
की जय
सुप्रिया माताजी की
की जय। प्रीति विलासिनी विनय माताजी सीता प्रिया देवीदासी की जय।
थैंक यू माताजी। हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा। दंडवत प्रणाम।